G'day one and all, welcome back to EFL TV. Great to be a part of it once again. Huge response from last week. Keep it coming, send it out to all your friends as well. We've got a lot to talk about as regular programming resumes in the EFL this week. Joining me is the media superstar, media manager, communications manager. She does it all in the EFL. Lauren Wood. Loz, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Big weekend last weekend, the Queen's birthday weekend.
It was the Mighty Born Tigers.
Good result for the Mighty Born Tigers. Don't get bogged down by that. We get back to normality this week, and the Call to Arms campaign's coming up next week in the EFL.
It is the following week. So all the stats are showing that 1 in 2 males will be diagnosed with cancer by the age of 85, which we at the EFL, like everyone else, think's pretty scary. So it gives us an opportunity to raise a bit of awareness about men's cancer, raise a bit of money. Your boys will wear a yellow armband.
We will, yes.
Along with everyone else. So we certainly encourage everyone to donate as much as they can and get behind it. And
that's next weekend, so we'll focus on this weekend. The round of normal footy, as I said. What's the match of the round? 98.1 Eastern FM's game of the week. What is it?
We'll be heading down to Heathmont. Heathmont are taking on Nuttawading this Saturday. So tune in to 98.1, as you said, from 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Bit of a pre-game, and then the broadcast will start at 2. So
are you calling this week?
I won't be this week.
Thought you were okay.
I had it up there for women's round, but no, I'll let the boys take over again this week.
Thought you're okay.
Thanks
the record available this week, of course. What's in the record?
It is $2.50 at the gate, so make sure you grab it. A lot of features this week. Nick Brown's had a bit of a chat with Bernie Deneen from Bayswater. Good. We've also taken a look at, with Peter Baird, a lot of the rivalries across the EFL. So that'll be an interesting one for this week, as well as a bit of a half-year review now that we've reached round 9, where we also encourage everyone to get behind our major sponsor, 9 News. So switch over to 9 News at 6 o'clock each night. Nice little plug there.
Nice.
So it gives us a good chance to have a bit of a review halfway.
There's plenty of chance to catch up on all the action in the EFL record this week. Thanks for your time, Loz. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having us.
Lauren Wood, the EFL's media manager. Time now to catch up with Footy Ops Manager of the Eastern Football League, Phil Merton, who joins us once again. G'day, Mertz.
Half, how you going?
Welcome back. You were excellent last week. A lot of hits in your segment last week. We'll see if we can double that this week. The under-19s is an issue in the Eastern Footy League, or under-18s at the moment, with a few overage players playing this year. What's the long-term view of the Eastern Footy League? Where are we headed? I know there's been a lot of discussion about the under-19 theory.
Yeah, look, we're continuing to review that whole age group from under 16s up to under 19s. Our aim is to try and get as many kids playing footy across that age group as possible. So we're looking at what the best structure is. And at the moment, while we've got 16s and 18s, there's various structures around various competitions in Melbourne. So we introduced the development players in 2010 and had about had 92 in that first year. And this year it's up to 143 across the competition. Yep. We've got more Colts teams than we've ever had. This year it's 42. The previous best was 37. So we think we're on the right path, but it's about managing how it's going to be structured at all levels, not only the senior clubs but also with the junior clubs. So we're assessing some things like squad sizes, how many players have been used at 15s and 16s to see, if opening up the age gap might help junior clubs a little bit as well.
So that seems to be the vulnerable age bracket.
Yeah, we think that as demands on kids with school and outside issues take hold, that anecdotally it's getting harder for clubs to get players together. So opening up the age gap might allow clubs to have access to more players and get more players on the field. Okay,
which is good for all the clubs and good for the competition to have more players in the system, which is great. Speaking of younger players, the interleague teams have been up and about in the last couple of weeks. How are they travelling, the Eastern Footy League teams?
Yeah, no, the Junior Interleague have finished their carnival stage of their program. They won 10 out of 12 games, which is a great effort. And we've got 2 teams in the grand finals in a couple of weeks' time. So they're the 14-2 team and the 15-2 team. So unfortunately, the 14-1s and the 15-1s lost 1 game each, which was enough to knock them out of finals contention, grand final contention. But yeah, the boys have represented the league in great manner, and the coach has done a great job. So we think the program's been really good.
And is there a hint of a senior interleague game maybe against the Amos next year?
Yeah, we've booked in to play the VAFA again as a pre-season game next year, similar to what we did when we had the bushfire relief game, which you were coach of.
It's great fun.
A few years ago, and we know the feedback from players has been really positive that they want to be involved in that. So yeah, that's booked in to go for next year, a couple of weeks before the season starts, and then we'll look to what other opportunities arise for senior interleague over the coming years. But we think that time frame works well for everyone at the moment. I don't think Queen's birthday for one-off games is what players want to do. So
it's already a game on that weekend, mate. You can't have that. Well done, mate. Thanks for catching up with us this week. We'll see you soon.
No worries. Thanks, Harp.
Phil Merton with Footy Matters. Time for a preview of all the rounds action this week in the Eastern Football League. Joining me from the EFL media team, Ben Waterworth. Benny.
Half, good to see you, and good to see you without a little less liquid under your eyes, unlike Saturday afternoon.
Yes, the Powerade does get in the eyes. It's very, very annoying.
Is that right?
Very annoying, mate. Let's look at the big games from this weekend. Division 1, Vermont v Norwood. Interesting.
Two teams who expected, I suppose you could say, to do really well at the start of the season. Vermont, when do they lose their first 6 games of the season? Doesn't happen too often. So they've won their last 2 games. Matt Gregg back in the team doing some really nice work. At the other end, though, Norwood's Lee Williams kicked 14 goals last weekend. Very, very impressive. So very interesting game between two teams who are really struggling this season. And with your boys winning last weekend, really good opportunity for them to sort of, push, have a bit of a fight back.
Who's going to win?
Think Vermont, just because it's at home.
Okay, Divi 2, Bayswater and Roval. Bit of a grudge match, this one.
I liken this to Mac versus PC in terms of, how big the rivalry is. It is massive between these two teams. Bayswater, doing okay, but Doncaster East, who currently sit 4th, play Lilydale, and Roval is currently sitting in 5th position. So if Lilydale are likely to beat Doncaster East, so Roval, a very good opportunity for them to move into the top 4 and get a little bit of extra momentum. And while we're on it, one of your numerous besties in the footy community industry, Chris Barlow, put on the shorts last week and, looked pretty good. So I'm just wondering if this is going to spark a revival from your good self, putting on the big shorts again.
I wouldn't have thought so. Welcome back, Chris. Division 3, Warrandyte and Templestar. Templestar have been terrific up the division this year. Paul Eccles kicking lots of goals.
Coming up from Division 4 to Division 3. Also, we can't go past Warrandyte. They had a tumultuous off-season, lost a lot of key players at that club, and they've come out and done fantastic, won their past 3 games, and most importantly, without Magic Morello as well, big Magic Hands Morello, normally a bit of a barometer for the team. When he plays well, Warrandyte are normally pretty hot themselves, but it hasn't been like that for the last couple of weeks. Warrandyte been doing it well without him, so it will be very interesting. Local rivals just down the road from Webster's Road there in Templestowe, so it'll be close, but I think probably Warrandyte probably struggle, I think, even though it's at home. Templestowe for mine.
Templestowe for the win there. In Divi 4, match of the round is South Belgrave v the Basin.
Yes.
Big one for South Belgrave.
Particularly for South Belgrave. There's 5 teams in Division 4 at the moment, currently sitting on 7 wins and 2 losses. You don't often see that. So if South Belgrave lose this one, that puts them almost 2 games behind 5th place. So it's a must win for them. They need to get it down to Lucas Appleby and Alex Bacons. They're 2 big forwards, really, made themselves quite well known, but the Basin have been really fantastic this season compared to 2010, where they had a bit of a disappointing season. So it'll be close, but I reckon South Belgrave might get the chocolates in this one.
A big one for South Belgrave and the Chockies, according to Ben. We'll hear you on 98.1 over the weekend.
Yes, world-class coverage.
World-class coverage. Sean Kelly should be very, very scared. Well done, Ben. We'll see you very, very soon on EFL TV.